part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
This episode of The Orange is Oranger is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Newark Auto Body. With winter weather and slick road conditions come black ice and accidents. And if you've been in an accident and your car needs a little TLC, look no further than Newark Auto Body and Zanesville Auto Body. Safe, reliable collision repairs is their business. Newark Auto Body and Zanesville Auto Body is a local, family-run, and veteran-owned business serving Newark, Zanesville, and surrounding areas. And guess what? They work with all insurance providers to make sure your experience is hassle-free. And if you are a U.S. military veteran, even better. Ask for their special discounts for vets at the shop, and they will be happy to help. Look, it can be hard to find a trustworthy car mechanic, but the people over at Newark Auto Body and Zanesville Auto Body have you covered. They care for you first and make sure they keep you safe and back on the road. Visit them today at autobodyofnewark.com and autobodyofzanesville.com to get your repairs started. Our iCar Gold Class team of skilled collision repair technicians will make your vehicle like new again. We also add the links to our show notes, so make sure to tell them Press Play sent you.
45-50, 45-40, run, William, run! He's got blockers in front, 5, touchdown! Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score! Kick blocked! They blocked the kick!
It is Thanksgiving week, Mr. Tyvis Powell.
Yes.
That deserved a little drum when you eat some drums. You like that little bit?
I did like that one. You know what? This
off the cuff.
I want to take this time to just say that in the couple years that you and I have been doing this, I want to tell you how thankful I am to have you as a podcast partner. Just the energy that you bring, the wisdom, on the podcast and off the podcast. You have been truly a godsend. Your mind, the way you work, the things that you've done and overcome, and the accomplishments that you've made since I've known you has been unbelievable and inspiring and very motivating for me. And I just want to tell you that I am in your corner. I'm behind you 100% in everything that you do. You deserve all the wonderful things that's going to come to you this year and beyond. And I'm just so proud to call you my podcast partner, but even more, my friend.
Oh, Tyvis, you're gonna make me cry.
Just wanted to get that out
That
there.
was so sweet.
Wanted to let you know that I appreciate who you are.
Oh man. Well, sorry everybody, this is the love fest that you didn't ask for, because I also feel the exact same way. Tyvis, this has been such a blast doing this with you, and of course the relationship that we've been able to build on outside of this. I am so thankful. You are such a positive light in my life, and I'm super, super grateful to have you, and love that I can text you about all things from work to my love life to family stuff to you name it. I'm so grateful for friendship. We were definitely brought together for a reason, and if it's the Browns that brings us together originally, then you know what? I love that damn team.
Hey, you know what? The season's not going well, but they always give us a little spark, just this past Thursday night game. I mean, wow.
Well, we got to talk about that, because Tyvis, you and me finally together watch the game.
You know what? And great things happen. Maybe that's been the secret. Maybe that's the recipe that we got to start watching the games together, because they go out there and have. I mean, it wasn't the greatest performance, but it was exciting. And that's the thing. If they're not going to have a great record, at least make the games interesting. Keep us entertained, keep us excited. Yeah. Let it go down to the wire. And I mean, this one had all the bells and whistles in it. So I tell you what, man, the one takeaway out of that game was Myles freaking Garrett.
Jeez.
Like that dude. Like, this the thing. And I understand the argument why people have the Myles versus TJ argument, because TJ has a motor, and at times it seems like Myles goes out there and the thing is, he can be taken out of a game because of the double teams, because of the triple teams and all of those things. He literally has games where he doesn't record a single stat. because teams are game planning and some teams do a great job. And
Mm-hmm.
for some odd reason in this game, it didn't matter what happened, what they tried to do. Like he was a man on a mission. He was not going to be denied
Yep.
because he felt disrespected for the DPOY stuff, that TJ Watt's comments and then JJ Watt's comments and how they stole that moment. And he really went out there and showed why he is the best pass rusher in the game. And it was funny because TJ Watt had one of those kind of Myles Garrett no show games. Like he wasn't even a factor in the game. Meanwhile, Myles got 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and all of these things. So, man, if that's what it takes, we need. I'm about to personally send him hate mail, a hate tweet every week just to keep him motivated.
Yeah. It was like a different look in his eye. I mean, the way there's movement, and then after the game, like, so for everyone, so Tyvis and I did get to watch the game together, at least like almost through the beginning of the fourth quarter, I would say almost Tyvis, or third quarter, I don't even know now, but
Yeah.
and that's when it started to snow like crazy. And I was gonna walk back to my car because it's a pretty short walk. I looked outside, like total blizzard. Travis is like, absolutely not, anyways. Like, I'm driving you back. And of course, we ended up going like getting on the wrong way there for a hot minute, like trying to drive back. Like, it was it was kind of a mess. You're trying to keep the game on to see what's going on because you have to do the post game, and then I'm worried about you getting back for the post game in time. It was like this chaotic, but like it was so cool. It was such a fun game.
Mhm.
And so when I got home with like a couple minutes to spare to watch the game, and like afterwards, so I was like amped, like I had like that second wind, and
Mhm.
listening to Myles press conference, or I'm sorry, the interview, not even the press conference, the interview after, and he was like getting really emotional, and he
Yeah.
was like, it runs through me, I'm number one, and I was
Yeah.
like, hell freaking yeah,
Yeah.
like that's what I want to hear about after a game. I don't want to hear about Deshaun's character or any of that BS. I want to hear about that. Like, that's what gets me motivated. That's what gets me excited. Jameis, I mean, doing the snow angels after the game, like I mean, jingle bells all the way, just like he, that's the Jameis that I love and want to know and see. Um, and it's exciting. It was really exciting. These morale wins mean so much for obviously not only us fans to give us something to be somewhat excited about, but also, of course, the players. Because, Travis, you've told me this too, like as a player, as long as there's a chance, and I saw today there's a 1.1% chance, believe in miracles, that it gives them something. They're not officially out yet. And
No.
not that I'm saying they ain't gonna do it, but I'm just saying, right? They're gonna
Hey,
play.
never
And
say
now
never.
and it's now time to kind of start to think about like what that means, right? I mean, for next season, we're in a weird, I don't like this territory we're in of like, you don't want to tank. We talked about that last week, but you don't want to throw away the season because, like you said, there still is something to play for. So it's like this weird balance. So I have a question for you
Mhm.
as we get into this.
Shoot from the hill.
So, Jameis, there's obviously been now a lot more rumbling because it was like he was going to come in for the year, be done, right?
Yep.
Now, some people are starting to view, since Jameis has been playing, kind of like re-looking at the record right now.
Hmm.
Browns are 3-8, right? But if you want to start from Jameis, basically, are you looking at the Browns at a 3-8, or are you looking at them from a 2-2?
First of all, the record is what it is. All right, we not gonna do that. I understand how people want to do that. I mean, Jameis can look at it from that standpoint. To me, I look at the Browns as what it is. I'm never going to, I'm not one that omits things and be like, oh, they were not that good. And Jameis comes in and now they're just taking it. Like,
Right.
that's not the case. However, I do think Jameis is playing at a really good level right now as a quarterback. And he's got to finish the season out. I've heard talks and rumblings and all in the Cleveland media. Obviously, I do stuff up there as well. And it's about, obviously, the hot topics is, do they extend Jameis? What do they do
Right.
at quarterback beyond this season? And you know, that some people's like, well, he's the perfect bridge guy. You know, you could give him a 2-year deal, maybe a 3-year deal, and things like that. You know, and he can have that Sam Darnold or Geno Smith type revision
Right.
and all of those things. And my thing is, I got to see the rest of this season. He's looked much better. I mean, he's had one game where he was freaking unbelievable. He's had a game where it was not great. He threw 3 picks in that game. So, like, I need to see who he is on a consistent game to game basis, you know. And I think that we got to give him the rest of the season to figure out. I do think with Jameis in there, what it does do is it allows you to evaluate the entire offense, you know, and the entire team, you know, because Jameis, you know, we laugh at Kevin when he says, "Oh, Deshaun is our best chance to win," or "Jameis gives us the best chance to win." We laugh at it, but
Mm-hmm.
in this scenario, I understand what he's saying with this one because I told you the last time we did a pod that it's literally evaluation season. Like we're going to evaluate everybody, even me as the radio host. I'm being evaluated because we have to figure out what the solution is. If you're part of
Sure.
the problem, part of the solution. And I think with Jameis in there, you got a quarterback that's one ran an offense, been the guy on the team, been the number one overall pick, has experienced some wins in this league, and he knows how to run the proper offense. Now, maybe he has a couple of audibles in there or not, but that's not the case. But I think when you look at it from an offensive line standpoint, if you're evaluating your offensive line, this is a pocket quarterback. It's a pocket
Yeah.
passing quarterback. So what it does is it's allow me to see with Deshaun or with all these other mobile quarterbacks, even with a DTR, they might drift or they might scramble and stuff like that. With Jameis, if I'm a guard, that man gonna be right behind my shoulder. That's where I'm blocking. I'm keeping this dude from right behind 5
Mm-hmm.
yards behind my shoulder. Like that's where I'm protecting to. I don't have to worry about him drifting off and all those things. That's the spot that I'm blocking for. So it allows me to see my offensive line in pass pro. Can these guys protect the pocket passer? Because I think Kevin is better off with a pocket passing quarterback. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you talk about the wide receivers, this is a guy that's getting the ball out on time. He's going to give them a 50-50 chance to make a play on the ball.
Making Judy look
He's going to throw them
unbelievable.
wide open. So, like, you can evaluate your wide receivers and your talent, you know, with Jameis in there to where DTR, there might be some hiccups in there because he's still a young quarterback and things like that. Or, you know, you put anybody else in there, still might be some hiccups and you might not be able to fully assess everybody on that offense. So, with that being said, I think Jameis is perfect for right now because you have to have an answer, a solution of how you're
Mm-hmm.
going to move forward past this season.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up the Geno Smiths and the Sam Darnolds because I do think a lot about how and we look to the Broncos, of course, with Bo Nix. I mean, there's kind of twofold. There's the one part of there's the one that's like what I'm talking about with the Bo Nix. I'm sorry, not Bo Nix. When I'm talking about Sam Darnold and the Geno Smith, right? These guys, even Baker, right? They've had like these resurgences in their careers, you know.
Mhm.
But then when you look at a Bo Nix, or you even look at a CJ Stroud, or you look at all these that they have like these really high highs, and you know, I think it's all about development, I guess is my point. Like
Yeah.
Tom Brady's talked about this a lot of how the league does not give enough time for these players to develop,
Hmm.
especially on the quarterback position. And I think we're seeing that a lot more. And I think we're seeing that like there's and even with coaches and I don't know, we know that the NFL is not for long, and that's what it stands for, and it's very true. And we're so quick on the Cleveland side, as we know, to cut them loose
Yeah.
when they're not performing. Um, but I think that a lot of the more successful teams, like the Steelers and a lot of those other teams that have built, I mean, they've taken the time to build. And so as I've thought more about like the Stefanski era and all of this stuff, and sure, his seat was definitely hot, I think, because of all the Watson stuff. But if we were to get rid of him, I get, I wonder if we'd really be doing ourselves, a disservice overall, because in the development, like you said, everyone's being evaluated and everyone has to develop, whether you are on the radio, whether you are in the front office, whether you are on the field, whether you're coaching, right? Like things take time. And so I don't know. My mood has changed a little bit on this overall of wanting to give it more time, but I also know that we have invested in a lot of players and trying to Deshaun being one of them, where I
Mhm.
think like we should have cut that loose. I think that's where the Browns need to be better. I think if they're going to be evaluating this past season and beyond, is
You
knowing
know,
when to cut the cord and when not to, right? Like I think that's where we
that's a
seem
big
to
thing.
not be able to get right. That's the point. That's the thing we can't get right of when to let go and when to hang on.
You know, I've grown over the course of this season. You know, when you get certain information and you just listen to other people talk, it could change the way you think. And I say all that to say this. Um, I was talking to I was talking to Aditi. Aditi was talking
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. And she was on the Cleveland show. And she was talking about Sam Darnold. She did like a little interview with Sam Darnold and whatnot, and he was kind of explaining to her how he ended up getting better as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And he said when he went to San Francisco and got with Kyle Shanahan taught him things that he never ever learned as a quarterback.
Hmm.
He taught him how to read defenses, and it was stuff that he never heard before. Fast forward to Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell and Kyle Shanahan runs pretty much a similar thing. Kevin
Mm-hmm.
O'Connell is overall just a solid dude. I know you see the interviews where he's going up to the young quarterbacks, talking to them in the air, to keeping them, giving them words of encouragement and stuff like that. So I say all that to say, what does that have to do with the Browns? Is what people is probably wondering. Let's take it to the quarterbacks that's been in this system. Why is it that Kevin's been able to get the best out of these quarterbacks?
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that Kevin is a really good quarterbacks coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know now, I could be speaking out of line because maybe AVP was the big hand in this, but whoever it was did a really good job of helping the Jacoby Brissett see the game better, to help the Case Keenums, to help the Baker Mayfields, help all of these guys see the game. And I wonder, was it that they were speaking languages and helping them see things that they never seen before? Because it was like, well, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Kevin just knows how to make them play well. And I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if that's his gift, is that he can help people see the game in a different light that helps them succeed.
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with this year? I wonder when it comes to Deshaun, because everybody says Deshaun struggles to read defenses. I wonder if Deshaun, which I don't know because I've only been around Deshaun for 1 week in Houston, so I really didn't get a good glimpse of who he was. But was he stuck in his ways, or was Kevin just not able to get through to him? Like, because it makes no sense.
I see. I don't. I think. I think it could be a combination of both. And I mean, he seemed to have a lot of. I think a lot of it was mental for him that he couldn't really overcome. He was always playing scared. He was always throwing scared. I mean, he never seemed to really be able to relax and take command. I mean, we saw the one good half. Everyone talks about the one good half against the Ravens that one time. Like it's so like that was the exception. That was not the rule. He was never that's just what it was with him. And sure, it's like you're in a great relationship with you think you're in a great relationship and they give you like one great thing and then the rest of the time they treat you shitty, but you hold on to that one great thing and it's like that's not the norm. The norm is them treating you shitty, and the norm was Deshaun not bringing it. And so when I look at Stefanski, when it comes to that with him, like Stefanski has proven, like we said, with all these other quarterbacks that you named, of what he was able to bring out the best in them. And if Deshaun isn't willing, I think between the lawsuit stuff, all of that money, I feel like his focus and his desire went by the wayside. And when you get caught up in that world with the money and all that stuff, your focus goes away. And I think he really thought he was just going to be able to come out there and play and
But
get
see,
it done
I don't think
and not have to try as hard.
I
So
don't
I think
see.
it's a combination.
I refuse to believe that. I refuse to
Well,
believe.
why?
Because I just don't think Deshaun comes off as the type of guy that wouldn't try hard. He doesn't come off to me as.
People change though,
But
Tyvis.
yes, but that just doesn't like. Like, there's no way as an athlete, I'm gonna tell you, I don't care if I was getting paid $1 billion. I still care. Like, I still care what you think. Like, I do. And I'm one of the type of guys that I'm gonna go. If you pay me $1 billion, then I'm gonna give you $1 billion of work ethic. Like, that's just like that.
But
And I
that's
feel like
you.
no, but I just feel like a lot of people are wired this way. Like, there's no way that this man got paid and just said, "Yeah, you know what, I'm good." Like, no, you can't. Not at the quarterback position. You can't have people just hate you for the rest of your life. Like, and then I hear like, there's no way he could have been acting like that. I'm gonna tell you why I know. I'm gonna tell you how I know that he wasn't acting like that. Because if he was acting like that, there's no way somebody like Myles Garrett, who's beloved in this city, would get up there and defend him like that. He would just say, "Hey, it is what it is." Like, that would be one of those things. Myles is a pretty straight edge guy.
Yeah.
He's a pretty straight edge guy. So to me, to hear Myles go at it, like, go get into it with the fans over him.
Oh, I know.
Like, he got to be doing something right. Like, there's something there that he's actually like, because like I said, we don't see it. They do. So like, that to me, like, to have all those guys come out and defend him like that, like, if he was packing it in, they wouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah,
The fact that they fought for him, like, come on now.
But you can have respect for somebody. I've worked with people that aren't good at their job, but as a person, I like them. But when it comes to working with them, they're not good. And there can be a line there.
Ali, if something happened to me and I was a terrible podcast host and somebody said something that happened to me, what would you say? Good. Or you wouldn't say anything. You'd just be like,
if you're my friend, I'm gonna still look. There's ways around it. Okay, there's ways around it. All right. Look, I know what you're saying. I get it. Sure, they probably do see something, and they do see the glimpses. And you've said it yourself. Like, during the week, like, things are being executed during the week, right? They're running these plays that are successful. They're making this progress that they think, and then they can't execute it on Sundays. So there is a disconnect there. So sure, maybe in practice he is able to execute, because probably the pressure isn't on there as much as it is obviously on game day. There's not people potentially booing you. There's not people suing you in that room, right? Like, it's like this. It's your bubble and where you thrive and where you feel good. And so when he comes to Sunday, like, that whole mental piece starts to creep in. So do I think it's all about the money, all that stuff? No, I don't. Do I think that plays a little bit of a factor in that? Yes, I do. I can't imagine how it wouldn't when he's out there flashing all this shit and nobody would care if he was winning. That's a whole different story. I mean, people the hard nose.
Wait a minute. What? To be fair, because he do some IG baddie stuff, but to be fair, he was an IG baddie before he got the money. Okay, he was doing that before he had that deal. He's always been like that.
He's always been a diva.
Proceed.
He has always been a diva. That's true. That's true. I think it's just when you're given the biggest contract, first guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed contract in the NFL, you better back it up.
Well,
and he couldn't. He couldn't even like.
No,
back it up. I couldn't even like kind of promise it or like put it on a loan. Okay, it was bad credit, bad freaking credit across the board.
I do. You know what? I think his injury is a blessing in disguise. Why do I say that?
I agree.
Because I think when he does come back, because they're not going to get rid of him. I don't think that they're going to say be gone, because I think people do like him. I do think it was some frustration there, but I do think overall as a person,
who still likes him?
I do think it's players on the team that still like him as a person, like,
okay, well,
things like that.
Would you want, like, you like me as a person, but I sucked as your podcaster? Would you want me back next season?
Yeah, you might. Yeah, because you're my friend.
You just contradicted what you just said before.
What I say? How did I contradict myself?
You said that if you weren't a good host, I wouldn't wouldn't vouch for you.
No, I said, what if we weren't friends?
Oh,
I wasn't a good. I said, yeah. I said we just worked together. We were co-workers. Let's just say we was co-workers, and you didn't have no type.
Friends don't win games.
I understand that, but I'm just telling you. First of all, he coming back. Like, stop. We
I
can
know he is. I know.
right now. Let's go ahead and take that cigarette and put it out. He's coming back. He's on this roster next year for sure. And I think when he gets healthy, the reason I said the injury is a blessing is because it'll allow him to. He's got to say F it. That's what he has to do. He got to just let him hang and just say F it. And once he does that, he'll be fine.
So why didn't he do that?
Because he wanted to be perfect. He wanted to make it work so bad. He wanted to try to convert himself. He wanted to convert what he was and try to fit this new thing. And like, you got a pressure under that. Like, think about it. They chose you over 52 other people. Like, the other guys on the offense were fine with the way the offense was. Nobody complained about the offense. They were productive in that offense. They had no issues with it. They went out there and fired all of them just to make this thing work with you. So they chose you over 52 people. It's a lot of pressure that comes with that.
There's a lot of pressure.
In his mind, he's like, I got to try to make them look good. I got to try to make this thing look great because they did all this for me. They've been rocking with me.
So why couldn't he execute?
Because, like I said, when you try to play perfectly, like that's you make mistakes. You can't play this game and think a lot. It has to be all reaction.
But he wasn't even Tyvis, he wasn't even like throwing the ball down the field and taking risks, and like there wasn't even it.
That's my point. That was the problem. That's the problem. He was trying to hit the short stuff and trying to make the safe pass. Like his last game when he went out with the keys, I think he was like 15 for 15 or something like that, or 15 for 16 or 17. It wasn't a bad game. He just wasn't pushing the ball down the field. Now he see Jameis come in there. Jameis and Joe Flacco have been the most successful in this offense. Why? Because they say, bleep this, it's gone. This Paul, I'm letting it go. That's the attitude. That's the only way this is going to be successful.
And if that's the case, Tyvis, like I know we're going to have him back next season, but then that's not going to work. If he doesn't, it's just not. Like I don't see a world where he comes back and plays for the Browns and it's successful. I don't. There's no, and I know I'm not alone in that, but I really don't see it. I feel like if he's ever going to have any success, it's not going to be here. And that's okay. Like, that's why people change jobs all the time, because there's different opportunities and you excel and flourish in different parts of.
I'm not disagreeing. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you.
I know.
When he gets healthy, it's going to be a conversation. And they still.
And I don't blame him for wanting to have that conversation.
That hit is still going to take place, and that money is still going to get paid out on Friday.
Well,
so
could we
with
be
that
the
being
Broncos?
said,
Are we the Broncos like 2.0?
Listen, the Broncos got. Speaking of, let's get into the Broncos. Let's get into the Broncos. You know, the Broncos have hit a stride lately. I think right now, currently, I think they sit with the 7th seed maybe in the playoffs. I think they
could clinch. I think with the next 2 wins. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're at 7 or. Maybe after they win this one, if they win maybe the next 2, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, this Monday night game actually gonna be really good, because you got the Browns that's coming off a heater, but the Broncos seem to have figured things out with Bo Nix. Bo Nix playing himself into the Rookie of the Year conversation, which I'm mad that Marvin ain't gonna be in because Ohio State win it every year, but whatever. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how our secondary does with them. Bo Nix got a little scramble into him. And that run game, they really figured out that run game. That Javonte Williams kid is really coming along. Everybody on that defense will be tested, but if Myles is doing what Myles has been doing, like, first of all, that changes everything. But the other guys got to continue to step up and make plays. I think that was the thing that we seen. The secondary played well in that game. The linebackers did really well, even though, JOK's not in there. I thought that they still was effective in the things that they wanted to
do. So
get
weird.
done.
We know nothing about that.
Yeah, I know that's what makes it scary. No, the fact that nobody's talking about it makes it even scarier.
Yes.
Because usually it'd be, he'll be back for the week, 6 weeks.
Right.
But like the fact that nothing's come out makes it scary. But anyways, the defense will be tested and our offense is going to be tested. And I want to know if Jameis can continue to play clean, Like, that's the thing. I think obviously that's Kevin's biggest thing is taking care of the football. If they take care of the football, that take care of a lot of games. And Jameis did a fairly decent job of doing that, in these last couple of games. I think the game before he threw no picks, I think this last game he threw a pick,
He
which
threw
he
Chargers,
threw
he did, didn't he? It was
did he
Chargers before.
the chart? No, it was the Saints before. He didn't throw a pick in the Saints
Oh,
game.
they went,
That
was
he
it?
I don't think he threw a pick in the Saints game. Yeah, he didn't
All
because
right, so it was Chargers and then the Saints.
yeah,
And then, okay,
he
all right.
threw the three picks in the Chargers. He threw no
Yeah,
picks in the Saints, and then he threw one that the ball kind of sailed on. I'm gonna blame that on the elements.
the snow
Uh,
was something.
yeah.
Isn't it crazy how much more the level of the playing field became, when the snow hit on
Oh,
Thursday?
so your team no dome.
Oh, no, I'm Team Dome.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to,
Yeah.
so you agree with George Pickens' comments?
No.
What? That's what
Like,
he said.
he said that it was because we won because of elements. They play in Pittsburgh. Like they're in the same elements as we are all the time. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like it's not like we had some upper advantage from Pittsburgh. It wasn't like it was Miami. I mean, that didn't make any sense and he sucks. So it's fine.
He's a pretty good. He's a good player.
I know he's
He's
just being bitter.
Yeah.
Being bitter.
But yeah. So, anyways, yeah, this Broncos game will be interesting. I just want to see where we are, because the last time the thing is when you play a team that's in the playoff running, like to me, it should be more motivating because they have what you want and you got to go take their stuff and they not giving it up without a challenge. The last time I felt like this was the Chargers game because the Chargers at the time was like the 7th seed. And obviously we know how that game went. I just think they just got to play clean. As long as that defense communicates and stays on top of routes,
Yeah.
and Jameis doesn't turn the ball
over. Yeah.
like they will be in a lot of games. If you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, this team beats themselves a lot, and
Very much so.
so to me, the roster is as talented as we think it is because even with some of the ways that they beat themselves, they still only lose games by 7 or less points. So you clean those things up, you give yourself a shot to win a lot of these games, even with all the injuries, stuff like that. So I'll be intrigued to see how they play because this is a playoff team. I know they just beat Pittsburgh, who's going to probably be a playoff team. And then the rest of them, they got to play the Chiefs, then they got to play the Bengals, all these teams. So I tell you what, this stretch run, we're going to see what the Browns is made of because if they go out and have a ton of success, then to me, this season was only hampered because of the terrible start,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not expecting much, I think, for Sunday at the very least, if we're going to start there.
It's Monday.
Or Monday, I'm sorry.
We play well in prime time games
We
when
do.
everybody's watching. So
We do.
throw that out there.
Agreed. But I don't know. We've historically struggled against the Broncos. I agree with your keys to the game there that you just spat out. I think, Jameis protecting that ball is going to be such a big deal. And I know that you are Mr. Defense, and I know that you're going to want them to step up. You always are extra hard on them. But I think if you play with confidence too, like I think I want to say coming off Thursday is going to be a great motivation, but we've also been in these situations before. We were coming off of Baltimore, and I guess that's when we had the Chargers next, right? Wasn't that after Baltimore? And we just got punched. So,
well, they beat them. So they blew 2 coverages and
well,
Jameis.
like they came out and they learned nothing from it just nothing translated. So, I'm hoping that that's not the case. I want to say we can ride some high, but I don't really believe that anymore because it is any given Sunday.
Are you insinuating that we're gonna lose? That's what it sounds.
I think we're gonna lose.
That's messed up, Holly.
But I do think we're gonna I think because then we play Bengals and then we play
it's Pittsburgh. No, it's Pittsburgh, the Bengals, the
Pittsburgh
Chiefs.
Bengals and we
It's
have
Pittsburgh,
4 games.
Bengals, Chiefs, Dolphins, Ravens.
Okay. So the Sunday, the 8th, is in Pittsburgh.
Correct.
And then the 15th home, Chiefs.
Yeah. And then it's Cincy.
And then yes.
Then it's Cincy. Then it's
because that was the game that was supposed to be flexed.
Yeah, it's flexed.
out.
It's a 1:00 Sunday game now.
Yeah, the 22nd. So I do think they're going to. I think they're going to lose against Denver. I think they are going to probably lose against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. And I think they'll win against the Chiefs at home. I think that's going to be their other win.
So they're gonna beat all the good teams.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And hey, listen, like I said, I'm not. First of all, I think they're gonna win this Monday night game. I do because they just primetime night games. They just play really well, and I don't know what that's about, but that's just what it is. So I got them winning this game. It's gonna be like 24-17. I got 24-21, 24-20, 24-20 will be the score for this Monday night game. But I do think that they do win some. I think they beat the Chiefs because the Chiefs.
I think they beat the Chiefs and the Dolphins. That's who I think they're going to beat.
They're flawed. Like they've been playing too close of games.
Too close to Charlotte last weekend.
Yeah, they overdue. They overdue for a loss, and they could. I hope it waits till the Browns go. So
Taylor Swift better be here. I am going to be on high watch.
You're not
Taylor
gonna,
Swift game.
you ain't getting nowhere near that one. I'm gonna just tell you that. Security will. They'll have.
She's on the suite level.
They will have you in the air and escorted out of the building. I'm gonna be like,
I'm gonna have my press pass, Tyvis, and I'm
just like this.
Walking.
I'm gonna be like, bye, Holly.
I'll actually be downtown celebrating my birthday that day.
Oh, your birthday's on a game day?
No, it's on a Wednesday, but I'm celebrating it on that weekend.
Hump day. No, you're supposed to celebrate the day. I thought you celebrate the day before, the weekend before the birthday.
Well, that's not how things are working out for me this year. So we're going to do it after.
Okay.
My birthday's on a Wednesday. What a crap day. And it's my 30th birthday. So it's really exciting. That's what I tell myself. So
hey man, listen, I told you age ain't nothing but a reminder, and it doesn't tell you how old or young-minded somebody is.
I know.
All you need,
I know. Well, we'll see what comes of Monday night. I hope that you're right and I'm wrong. And I did not think we were going to beat the Steelers at home, but God had other plans. So we'll find out. I don't like that we're away. I think if we were home, it'd be a different story.
Oh my gosh, the Denver thing is overrated. I played there for.
But it's any road game. We've never, traditionally, even last year, we just have never. I mean, this year I don't even want to count. But last year we never. Defense for sure struggled on the road. So we'll see. This year's been a crapshoot every game. Excuse me for yawning. I'm ready for turkey.
They do that. That's what they be doing in Denver. They actually have me turn. All right. Anyway, let's go Brownies.
Let's go Brownies.